Okay, so let's try to get this set. I'm going to try to set this. We'll probably
Okay.
lose Paula here in a minute or so because when she comes up, they're going to find out who it is, and she's going to be all like a little schoolgirl. But anyway, so now these people are personal friends of mine, and they are great, great friends. And that's what I've been trying to tell you all along is that all these people that I'm bringing up are all people that you're going to meet on the road. They're nomads, right? And it was kind of funny because this one here, which we'll explain later, I don't want to give it away because they are one was doing it and the other one wasn't. And so she wrote a book, by the way, and now her
Oh my
boyfriend
God, I
has to
know who it
use
is.
the
I just
book.
figured out
So
who it
it's kind of
is.
funny. So, uh,
Because there's just
so
him
anyway,
right now and his name and
yeah,
the face and
they're
issues. I know who
awesome
he
people.
is
Like
because I
that's
know
what
who
I'm
she
trying to get
is.
across. It.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I can see who it is. I have to bring her up quick, Batch K.
You better
Oh
go ahead and roll the intro there, sweetie.
my I am losing my marbles. This is like a total dream come true badge. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I'll play the intro. I can't even think straight. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is just too cool. So I'm going to play this little
You ain't
intro
gonna
clip,
roll the
and
intro.
when it's done, my guests are going to be up on the screen. Oh my God, I am gonna bow. I asked Badge Robin, I was like, if there was one person that I ever wanted to meet, it was you. And oh my God.
Hey, girl. Hey, Badge. Hello. This is Doug. Hello.
Hi, Doug.
Hi. Your intro is great.
Hello, Doug. Hello, Robin.
Oh my God. Oh, I thought that was making it up that I was gonna cry. Oh, Robin, I am so
All I say is
excited
be
to
careful
meet
what you
you.
wish for.
I was like, oh my God, that I can't figure out who is a couple with that many subs. Like, I don't know who it is. And I'm like, what if I don't know who it is? He's like, oh, you know who it is. Don't you worry. You know who it is. Oh my God, even in the comments, people are like, oh my God, Robin.
Oh, we can't see that. We can't see the comments.
Oh,
too funny.
Oh, it is so nice to meet you.
You too. I hope we see you on the road.
Oh, it'd be so awesome, wouldn't it? Where are you guys right now? Arizona still?
We're headed up the Sierra Nevadas, just all the way up north. We really don't know.
Just flying by the seat of your pants, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's now we're in California. By the way, if anybody out there, can I just say something really quick?
Mm-hmm.
If anyone out there is traveling this direction on 395, yesterday they closed down 395, a good stretch of it, because of high winds. Campers and truckers weren't allowed on the highway at all. They all had to pull over. So check your wind report if anybody's headed this way. Just thought I'd mention it. We're in high winds right now. We're just waiting. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so many questions. Okay, first I want to tell you, Robin, and hello, Doug. It's so good to see you again. But Robin, you're one of those strong, independent, powerful women. You are such a role model to so many women. I truly admire you. I really, really do.
Thank you.
And everything you do is so well researched. We know we're getting factual information. It's just, oh, I could go on and on about how much I love everything that you do. Thank you. I find it really interesting, all the ways that you've found that people can work and still be nomads. How did you even start learning these things?
Well, I planned for 4 years to get on the road. And I mean, I had to figure out for myself how to make a living just like everybody else. So I had a plan and I had a backup and I had a backup. So, you know, I wrote a couple of romance novels under another name and was going to do that. And I was working a part-time job. I met him. We lived in the same apartment building while I was planning to hit the road. And then I started another website, not nomad related at all, just to make a living. So I was just going to do that. But when I started my channel, the biggest question I got from people was, how can I make a living? And I would get these emails from people that were just desperate. And people would be like, I'm a landscaper, I'm a bookkeeper. This is what I used to do. And I really want to hit the road. So I started doing like one-off research for that person. You know, I'd be like, you know, how can a bookkeeper make a living on the road? How can a nurse, you know, what about work camping and all that stuff? And then I just got obsessed with it. And you're talking about the last book, right? The job book. Yeah, it's massive. I just wanted to help people do the work themselves because everything looks like a scam. And if you go into Google and say remote work, it's like 4 million things come up, literally. Yeah. So thanks. I just wanted to make it easier, but that's it.
I think that's fantastic. So do you want to let everyone know what you were first doing when you hit the road?
Yeah. Well, you know, I worked a corporate job like everybody, had never been in an RV, was a dork. I mean, was not outdoorsy. And I'm a researcher, you know, I'm a writer. And then, you know, you may know that my sister died young. And, you know, if anyone's seen my TED Talk or whatever, I know my mom's watching right now. Hey, Mom. So she's heard all this before. But, you know, my sister changed my life.
She got a cool mom.
She does. Yeah, he's met my mom.
She's
you know,
so
when
cool.
my sister was,
I love her mom.
She is.
She's cool.
Yeah, she's gorgeous too. My sister asked me if I had 2 years to live if I keep my job, my corporate job. And I was like, no, you know, absolutely not. So that changed everything. I kept doing that and planning to get on the road. And then when I first got on the road, you know, like I said, I wrote those two romance novels before I hit the road. Okay. Because I wanted to have an income stream and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have debt personally because, you know, my degree's in writing and I was a literary agent. I was a freelance writer. I could just never make a living at it. But I figured out I could live on $1,300 a month when I first hit the road. And I was confident I could make that writing. So that's what I did. And then I started, the website was called wordsinspired.com, which is an inspirational quote website. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I monetized that. Google ads are on it. And that's what I was going to do. But then I interviewed Bob Wells for my blog, just my written blog. And he convinced me to do YouTube. And that's what happened. And then since then, I've written 2 more books. So, but this one had his corporate job for 16 years and just gave it up to hit the road.
Yep.
I watched the burning of the outfits, the whole ceremonial kind of thing you did.
No, it was great. Felt good.
Yeah.
But is it weird for you now joining her? Like, Robin, it's going to be different for you too. Now he's with you all the time.
Yeah, we're together all the time.
We get along great.
We really do.
Wink, wink.
Not with an alarm clock has been beautiful.
No alarm clocks, shorts every day.
Yeah. One thing I've learned for sure, things take longer than you think they're going to take. Like, you're going to go out and get water. Can I come back and do other things? And your day gets away from you before you know it. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So I'm learning how to adjust to that, and just I broke some stuff, learning some things.
Lots of scrapes and bruises.
Lots of scrapes and bruises. Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do either of you ever wish you hadn't done this?
Oh God, no.
No?
Never. I've never had one day where I pulled over and said, "What did I do? This is a mistake." Never, not once for a minute.
Only one day I broke the water bag, the 150-gallon water bag. It fell in the back of the truck as I was driving out to get propane. That day I might have thought about maybe not doing it. Then go home and tell her I broke the water bag. And that was not.
It exploded on the road.
The hatch opened up and it just fell in the back, and massive explosion.
Yeah, and he came home to the RV and he was like, "I did something good." And I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "The water bag broke." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. So I immediately got another bag online,
it's
and
all fine.
yeah.
You break a lot of shit. That's what happens when you're on the road, right, Badge?
You know, I have to tell you, Robin, I'm an older sibling, and my younger sister passed away as well, but we were in our 20s when I watched her pass. And you know, there's been so many times in the last 22 years since then that I've thought, I am lucky that I'm alive. I'm lucky that I have the opportunity to do things, but I have this fear that holds me back. Do you have any advice for pushing past that fear?
Well, I'll say this. This is just another housing option. You know, you're still you. You still have your skills. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have good days. You know, the fear of not doing something with my life was way greater than the fear I had of what I was going to find on the road. And he can tell you that, you know, I am freaked out all the time because we don't have enough time to do all the things I want to do. I mean, still, and we're doing it. But it's like there's so much we want to see and do, and there's books that I want to write, and you know, it's the other side of that coin, right? It's just human. It's just human. But I one time before I had YouTube, I wrote a blog post called "The Fear, Fantasy, and Folly of an RV Life," because this is what I learned. Either you think there's going to be a guy with a hook in your door. You know what I mean? Like the old campfire stories, or, you know, like some serial killer is going to find you or something, or you're going to break down in the middle of nowhere and not have any water. You know, the things that go through people's minds that they're scared of when they hit the road is not reality. You know, could any of those things happen? I mean, I guess so. But I mean, it's really unlikely that the things we're scared of are going to happen, right? But then there are other people that think that this is all like super easy and it's, you know, a big, you know, happy community. And if something goes wrong, somebody's going to be there to help them, or which happens a lot. But that's kind of the fantasy, right? That it's going to be so easy and it's all going to be, you know, sunshine and unicorns. And that's not true either. You know, and when I first went out, I thought, my first year, I kept thinking, is this what I imagined? Is this what I imagined, instead of actually being in my life, really living it? So I wasn't actually even living it because I was comparing myself to other people I saw on YouTube or something. So it's all up in your head, you know, it's just life, but it's rad. If anybody's out there, listen, it's rad.
Do it.
Do it.
Well, there's always a lot of
it's not for you, but
there's a lot of people in the nomadic community here that are watching you right now, and I just want to thank them, Aaron Jemison, for dropping Robin's link in the chat.
Oh, thanks. I wish I could see all the questions and everything, but
that's okay. I do. Can you see them when I pop them up like this? Can you see on the bottom of the screen that we're on?
I can see this Carol question. Did Robin say her? Yeah. Both of I wrote a book called Be a Nomad, Change Your Life, under my name, and then Work from Home While You Roam. Both those books are continuously updated with the links. So if you already have the book, all you do is go into your device management tab and it will say update available when there's an update. So
cool.
That's it. So like I did a video last week on jobs and I mentioned a company called Lions Bridge. I always want to say Lionsgate because of the movie company, but some people had the book and they say, I'm not finding that. And I said, you have to look under the smart crowd. And before that, it was Virtual Bee. If you haven't updated your thing, but you know, companies change, things change. So yeah, I always update it. I'm trying to get that out in paperback, but you know, it's a monster. And then things change so much. I just don't know.
It's probably good to keep it electronic.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're still really young, right? So you're in that age range, it seems the toughest because, you know, when someone's really young yet, then they haven't settled down or they're already retired, I kind of feel like they have a little more freedom in the way of this, but that ages in between are a little bit harder. Like right now, I'm so stuck 9 years till early retirement. Right. But at the same time, I'm totally not living right now.
What do you do?
I'm a social worker.
Oh, do you know how many opportunities there are online to be a social worker? Come on, Paula. Really? You work remotely right now?
I'm working from home only because of the pandemic at this point in time. But I think if I quit, then I have to wait till 65 for my retirement, which will be less. Right? See, I justify things that way so that I'm stuck sitting on my couch.
Yeah. It's hard because you work hard to get to a certain point, right, Doug?
Right.
He just went through this. Yeah, I mean, in my job, I made good money. I worked my ass off. I lived no life at all. I had no life.
Mhm.
But I was really competitive, and I was just, I know, Badge, I know, just, and I found that was my only happiness, and it wasn't even real happiness. You've got to go out on a limb sometimes. I mean, as a social worker, you've got to have skills, right?
Mhm.
You have a skill set that will go mobile if you want it to be mobile. I mean, do you feel like you have to give up being a social worker or that type of work if you go on the road?
No, it's just that early retirement. That's pretty much the thing. And because I worked my whole life as a single mom. I still am a single mom. He's 19 now though, but you get your education, you get the house, you get the job, you buy the car, you do all the things you're supposed to do. And then it's like, now what? Right?
And
Like,
exactly. Yeah, because you think it's going to fill you. You think you're going to get to some point, right? Where you're going to go, I did it all. Those boxes are checked. And then you feel this happiness. And then you get there and you don't feel that happiness. And
Exactly.
I mean, for me, that's all bullshit. It was just all bullshit. Can I curse on your channel? Because I don't curse on my channel.
I never swear on this channel, Robin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
All right.
Well, Doug, how did you deal with it recently?
Well, it's definitely been a change. I used to be that 9 to 5, kind of just getting in that routine. I felt like I was sitting in my apartment when I was by myself and Rob was on the road, and I would just, like she was saying, wasting my time. I was just in a rut. Go to work, go to sleep, get up, go to work, and I'm like, she's on the road, seeing all these places, and I'm seeing these videos, and so to be able to be on the road and do things, remotely, it's been refreshing. I've been doing my job for a long time, and as a manager of a lot of people, and it's just nice to do something different. I'm learning a lot of different skills that I had never even knew I could do. So it's fun to be able to.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's exciting to be able to do new things and just go out and see stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that it's just an amazing life. I've been in shorts for the last 10 months, so that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so. Yeah. What one person can do, another person can do.
Yeah.
You can learn new things. I do things I never thought I'd do.
Yeah. And I also want to learn some things about just some craft things. I want to learn how to draw. I've always been jealous of people who can draw. So I want to try and get good at drawing. And so that's kind of some side things that I want to do. And
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to make as much maybe on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can kind of go out on a limb.
Yeah.
And see if you like it. Let's say you did it in your ambulance for a year, 2 years. You can always go back and be a social worker if you needed to. See, I think we have this idea that everything has to be all or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that is what I'm doing.
This is true. I felt the same way. And also, I think people think they have to RV in a certain way. Like you have to be only a boondocker. If you ever go to an RV park, boondocking people don't like that, or people in RV parks think boondockers are dirty, or there's no one way to do anything. So we have this idea that you chuck it all and be a nomad, and you're going to be out forever, and you're not going to live under any conventions or anything anymore. I don't know. Everybody's different. You might do this for 2 years and have to go home for some reason. I might.
Right.
I hope not. I hope we do this until, we're literally going down the stairway on our walkers.
It's nice having the flexibility to be like there's high winds. We stay here for a few more days, and then we go when it's safe, and then we can, we make our own decisions of where we go and what we do.
Yeah.
So that part is coming from a corporate world where the structure's there and going to this flexible lifestyle has been refreshing.
It doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Well, I know, Robin, you've had to learn all sorts of stuff. Like I watched how you evaporated your gray water tank.
Oh my God, that was one of my first times. Yeah, I go down these rabbit holes. It's just yeah. And I saw a video on Burning Man once that Gone with the Winds did about how somebody had a pinwheel and there was some pantyhose on it or something, and they were evaporating. And got. So I did all this research on the best fabric to evaporate water, and yeah. I don't do that now. I don't.
Blind Views has a question for you. It says that he enjoyed her trucker view of RVer series. Was that fun to do?
Oh my God, that's a throwback. Yeah, as a YouTuber, you'll find this interesting too. I wanted to ask truckers about safety stuff in RVs, right? Mm-hmm. So I got onto a trucker forum and got on there and talked to about 100 truckers and asked them all kinds of questions about, what they see people doing wrong and the worst mistakes people make and what they think about us being in truck stops. So then I put it into 2 videos, and I know what he's talking about because I put on a trucker hat. Oh my God, these videos took me like weeks and weeks to do, and they shouldn't have taken that long. But then I did both the intros in trucker lingo. So now I know all the trucker lingo. But as a YouTuber, what always gets me is I really wanted people to watch the one on safety, because I thought people really needed to know some of the stuff about this. And instead, nobody watched that one. They watched the one about if they want to send truck stops. So, but yeah, that was fun to do. That was fun to do. I had a couple of truckers that said, oh, we don't really talk like that, and we don't appreciate it. And the other truckers were like, shut up, get the stick out of here. Mom. But yeah, that was super fun. Yeah, I've had a great time.
So I know now, what was it? Badge, was he helping you back up your trailer or go around a corner with your trailer?
Badge is such a doll.
That was a good one. So as you notice, if you watch all her stuff, she went from a Pleasure Way to a Tiffin to the trailer. Now the deal was, I said, Robin, you buy the trailer and the truck, and I will teach you how to drive it. So mostly nobody would ever do that stupid thing like it. So she phones me up and says, yeah, I bought a trailer and a truck. And I said, when do you want me to come and get? Well, it's getting pretty cold. I think I want to go to the desert. So I get up there and it's snowing. Like
a blizzard.
Believe me, she did the video on it going through the painted forest, and it was just,
I don't remember a blizzard in the video.
Or the petrified forest.
No, I don't think
and so
okay.
The thing was, as I just kept talking to her, and she didn't want to drive it. She, no, I can't drive it. I said, come on, jump in there. You can drive it. I tell you, you can do it. And she didn't want it. But finally, she did get in it. About, what the hell were we? 4 or 5 hours out of Colorado. And she knocked it right out of the ballpark. She did an awesome job. Like, I got to admit, for somebody that never knew what an RV was and didn't know what a fifth wheel was and didn't know what a truck was, she knocked it right out of the park. And so we get in the snowstorm, and I says, well, if you want to pull over, I'll and right out of the blue, she doesn't even think, I got 4-wheel drive, and just keeps going. And she just knocked it right out of the park. Like, I got to admit, she did an awesome job. It made it really easy for me. And that's why her mom likes me so much, because it's so nice of me to come up to Colorado and take her trailer for her. So she just loves me. So it's all good.
Badges met my mother too, Robin.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Let me tell you how the story really went down.
Okay.
I'm joking. No, he's right. I had 2 20 and he did. Yeah. And he said, I'll help you. So I get it. But we're in a park in Colorado because it's snowing. So Badge says, hey, what are you doing? This is like Tuesday. He said, hey, what are you doing Thursday? I go, why? He goes, well, I got a ride out there, so I'm going to come get you. And I was like, oh, okay. So we were going to leave for like a month, but then he got there, spent about 3 days with us, my mom, and we had to hightail it out of there to get out of another snowstorm. So it is coming down. Badge jumps up on the roof with a shovel, and he's getting the ice off the slides, and but he wanted me, and I have never towed anything in my life. Okay. In the snowstorm, he wanted me to drive out of the RV park. And I was like, hell no, I'm not going to drive out of the RV park. Let's have me drive once. We're in the flat area, because I was in the mountains in an RV park. And when the snow was falling, I had to convince him to do it. And then another thing is we go to hook up the truck, and he had cut my safety wire that connects the trailer to the hitch, so that if you become disconnected, it cuts the brakes on the trailer, right? So I go, what's that? And he goes, oh, it was in my way, so I cut it. And I was like, God damn it, Dad, you don't cut that. You never want to have to use that. You're never going to want to have to use that safety cord. I'm like, yeah, but I'd like it to be there. But no, once we get out of the snow.
I went back to Denver. I went the other way.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah. Once we get, no, it's easy. It's easy. It's easy. No, yeah.
But it was fun. Everybody wants to know when I met Robin. It was hilarious because I'd always watched her from day one. I think she only had like 1,500 subs or something at the time we started watching her. And we watched her, and she had problems with her pleasure weight. And I said, no, that's not right. And
Use your travel van.
Feeding her information. So she'd go back to the dealer and say, well, this is what's the matter with it. Well, how do you know that? Well, I know. But anyway, this went on and on and on. So then finally she talked to me about buying a Tiffin. I said, well, Tiffin is a pretty good thing, except that one was yellow. And she just kept, and we've been talking back and forth probably for a year, but she never met me. I never had the YouTube channel, so she never seen who I was. So here I am standing at the laundromat in Ehrenberg, of course, and this Tiffin motorhome pulls in, and I see the big high thing, and I'm standing there looking at this, and I says, is she going to hit that damn overhang? No, she's not going to hit it, is she? And she stopped within about 6 inches of it. And she got out, girl. She just gives me this dirty look, like, what are you looking at? And I looked at her and I said,
parking lot.
Bad?
But you get
I said, yeah. So it's just hilarious. It's just how it came down. But it was kind of funny. And then we've been friends ever since.
He's just out in the parking lot, like eyeballing me. Like, get your eyeballs off me, son. But he goes, are you Robin? And I was like, yeah. And he lunged at me, but I don't know who this guy is. I'm like, and he threw his arms around me and he goes, I'm back. I was like, oh my God. Never look back. He's great.
Oh God. The fun we have.
Yeah, it's true. We were sad we didn't get to see Badger this year in the desert. That sucked.
Yep.
The only thing I missed was going down there this year because Doug just went on the road, and he kept talking. I said, Doug, you should do it, but he had to get his life all set up with this job and all that, and I was really choked because I wanted to go down because the other side of Doug is that he managed a call center with a lot of people in it, and then he just shut her down and went into Nomad, and I phoned up Robin a couple of times. I said, how's he doing? Oh, he's doing famous. He's doing just fabulous. I said, really? Going from just chopping it right off and going? And she says, yeah. And I talked to Doug. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of good that he's doing it because I think they're a great pair. I really do.
Yeah, I've called a few times for some advice, for sure. Thank you, Badge.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a question for Paula. Paula, you're doing an ambulance.
Yeah,
but do you want to go full time? You're not sure if you want to do it.
I do want to go full time. This is like it was my empty nesting project, and now my son's back home right now just because everything's on COVID. But I had taken an unpaid leave this winter for 3 months, but I had to cancel it. But, the more I think about it, if I sold the house, I just feel tied having a house. And I know it's a good investment. Everything in my head tells me one way, but my heart tells me the other. So when I'm building the ambulance, I'm building it for full time. I'm building it to boondock if I want, right? Like, it's one of the steps of getting there. Maybe I'll take a year off, why not? If I didn't have the house, I could take a year off for a leave of absence and just even see if I want to commit to it or not.
Can you rent it out? Can you rent out the house?
I'm not really sure. I might be able to rent it. Yeah.
Yeah, try it. I mean, for me, I sold a house and that helped me put the down payment on my rig. I was in the same boat. Like I thought, well, no, you have to work, you have to have the house because it's the equity, and then your retirement will be okay, and 401k or all that stuff. And here's the thing. This is not financial advice. I have to say that. There's lots of ways to make sure you're okay. I know a lot of people think that you go out on the road and you give up Social Security savings, or you give up retirement, or you give up the equity in a house. It doesn't have to be that way. You can still, I mean, let's say you sold the house and you bought a rig and you don't have all those expenses. You might be able to save $1,000 a month if you're still working that you couldn't have saved in a house because you were paying for that mortgage, right? So you just have to be careful and put that into something. You can still put money into an IRA that's just like a 401k. It just doesn't have a match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just, you don't have to do it the same way that everybody does it, but you can still be smart.
No,
I think.
everybody's different.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And you know what? I wouldn't have a problem doing it full time here and tucking money away like you're saying, except for winter. Have you been to Canada in the winter?
No, but I want to.
Cold.
I want to. Yeah.
I don't care how much insulation I put in that baby. It's cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's in the chat telling me I can do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
We're
can.
not doing that this year.
Just come down to the States.
This year
We'll
we're
show
not
you.
doing it.
Well, right now I need the borders to open, but at least I'm getting things set. So what I've been doing is building out the ambulance, and I'm slowly minimizing things in my home. So it's nothing that's committed to anything yet, but I'm still getting there. I've said this so many times. I feel like there is something wonderful coming in my future soon, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's big, and I have to be ready.
Yeah. That's great.
And I feel it more and more and more each and every day. So yeah,
That's bad.
I got to do something.
Sorry, Badge did that. I was like, what is in front of the camera? Yeah, everybody doesn't have to do it the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do what's right for you. So yeah, just take it easy. Sounds right.
So what is the next skill
But if the
you
border's
plan on
open, we're just
developing?
going to throw a hook on her bumper and pull her down.
Yeah, Badge is going to pull me behind him. But Robin, I've seen you develop so many skills over this whole process, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the next thing you're looking forward to doing or learning?
I'd like to learn to relax.
I saw that knowing look between the two of you.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I have a suspense series that I have been trying to work on and wanting to work on. It's an RV themed murder mystery, a series. And sometimes I feel like I don't practice what I preach, because to do something like that, I'm going to need like 2 years, like solid time to do it. But then I'd have to give up part of what I'm doing now, and I don't want to do that. So for me, the balance thing, I'm still trying to figure out the balance thing. So yeah, I want to develop that skill, Paula. Wherever you go, there you are. I've said before, I thought that I would sit out in the chair and watch a bird fly by all day and just be like a hippie, but I brought myself to the woods, and I like these projects. I like to work. I like to work hard. It's hard to find that balance. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're always you, even in a van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Doug, you said you want to do some drawing. Is there anything else that you want to develop?
Well, I'm learning more about social media. I didn't really do much with it other than like Facebook or the basic stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm learning a lot about how it all interconnects and
how to edit videos.
And editing videos, I've really taken a liking to how to make something look like one thing, and it can you edit and it can all kinds of comes together, and it's like magic.
More creative.
So
yeah.
I'm really enjoying that, and I'd like to see kind of where that leads me down the road, and learn. It's a lot to learn, but it's fun to do all little shortcuts and tricks to editing, and but there's a lot of things still to learn.
There's so much you can do in a life, I was saying to him yesterday, we just need to be vampires or something because I need like 400 years to do all the things that I want to do. Yeah. Like we go down the road and the geology is like crazy. And I really want to put time into figuring out how stuff happens.
Oh, history too. I learn about history, like especially in the California, the West, learning more about the all the gold mines and all the history and things we've seen as we've gone down the road and learning kind of what it's all about.
Yeah. It's fun out here.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. It is cool.
Lots to see.
Yeah.
All the stuff you see. Like even especially the desert, you know, people go on about a desert. They just think of, you know, a big 1,000 million acres of sand, and it's not like that at all. But you get out there, and like you guys stayed the winter for 2 years now, and it's just fine. It's kind of cool.
There's so much to see.
Like that town we went to on the.
Oh my God. Okay. Should we tell?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So we were hanging out with a mutual friend badge, and we went on a field trip to Death Valley. So this mutual friend follows a channel called "I Bought an Abandoned Mine" or a Ghost Mine or something. I haven't seen it, but he mentioned this town near Death Valley called Darwin, right? So we went and saw like 5 things that day, but we go and we see there's a sign that says no services, and there's these old mining things that are just dilapidated, and then you go into this town, and it was the most interesting town with no people on the streets.
Eyes were watching us, but nobody.
But you could tell people were, the porches were clean. People obviously lived there, but there was a lot of trailers and little houses and artwork everywhere. I mean, like statues, and like the only thing that looked like it was open was the post office. You could tell people were watching you through the windows.
Like you just got that vibe, that creepy.
Oh, yeah. Immediately.
Yeah. So, you know, we tool around the town and we're like, well, that's interesting. And it was really cool. And I had so many questions. So then we get home, and about a week later, we find a documentary called Darwin, which is about the people of this town. And there's 35 people in the town. And if we had seen the documentary before we went, we probably wouldn't have gone.
Why? Why? Like, did they do something scary?
On the Darwin people.
No, I mean, it was just a lot of different.
But, you know, there were some doomsday preppers and
people burying guns in the desert.
Yeah, and some stories about, you know, like some old guy died there, and like
witchcraft.
Witchcraft. Yeah, this guy burned down a couple of houses, so they put him in an old water tank thing and put it like literally cut a door into the metal water tank. And he was drunk all the time, and so they had to help him, and he died. And they said, so we just dumped him in a grave. We put him in the graveyard, and his body fell out. And we're like, wait, is there medical? Wait, there's no police. There's no nothing. There's
one water tank for the town, and they but no one wants to leave the town. Everybody
so it's
loves
just really interesting. But this is like one of the things we saw. Like the other day, we passed the internment camps, the Japanese internment camps. And 10 miles from that, we saw something called the ancient bristlecone pine forest. So we look it up. The oldest trees in the world were 24 miles away from us. I mean, like you just have to open up your eyes and just see a bunch of stuff. But yeah, Darwin.
But no one wants to leave Darwin. Everybody wants to stay there. They love it there, and it's their place.
Such a crazy
town.
It's on Tubi, the app, if anybody wants to see it. But yeah, lots of stuff out there. Lots of stuff out there to see.
What is the one thing that you've come across that you would have felt like you regretted if you hadn't?
One thing? One thing I would have regretted if I hadn't.
More. But, you know, it's something that's had such an impact on you, or so amazing that, you know, that would have been.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you. I'll tell Badge's hand.
Dog in hand.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I'd never been in an RV. I wasn't outdoorsy, you know. I was in Girl Scouts, but I just wanted to sell the cookies, you know. And one of the first things I did was I went to Grand Teton National Park, and I didn't even know I was going there. I was trying to go to Yellowstone. Yosemite? I get them confused.
Yosemite's California.
Yeah, so I had to drive through it. Ended up staying there, and it had the most beautiful lake. And I've never been in a canoe in my life, but I went and rented a canoe, and I paddled out as far as they said you could paddle out, which was like 2 miles by myself. And I just laid back in the canoe and looked at the mountains and bobbed up and down. And I had like a life-changing moment. It was like an epiphany. Have never felt anything like it. And then a storm came in. And I had to paddle my ass back to the shore. And the guy said they give you a little whistle and a life jacket when you rent. And he said, I was watching you the whole time. And I kept trying to paddle, but there was more water on me than there. I like went in and I'm like dripping wet. I said, I don't think I'm supposed to be this wet, and I'm coming back in. And that was bad. But yeah, just opening yourself up. Oh, God, when I first started, I've said this before, but people can see in the windows at night when your lights are on inside. And I would shut all the windows, and then every little branch that scratches on the rig outside, you don't know what that is. And, I didn't have cameras then, or and then I started going outside at like 1:00 in the morning and looking at the stars by myself. And I realized that your eyes acclimate. And now I open up all the blinds. I'm still trying to get him to do this. Because when you're boondocking, you can see people coming. You can hear them coming, right? Mm-hmm. And if the blinds are up, you acclimate to the darkness. And I would see anything before they see me, except for animals.
And a parachute.
Oh, yeah. And but just going outside at night and looking at the stars is completely life-changing. It's just like you feel the earth moving. You have the cycles of the weather and the moon and how the stars move across the sky. Never even knew that. And he's talking about we were camping, and there was a military training exercise that went a little awry, and a guy in a parachute landed in our campground. We had to be rescued. The video on it called Campground Invaded like a month ago.
Yeah, like there's a dude out here with a beacon. I'm pretty sure it's a dude.
Dude, so we had night vision goggles.
It's 10:30 at night.
We didn't know how to use the goggles, so we grabbed the goggles and we got footage of the guy and the guy being rescued. But yeah, that was unexpected. Yeah, but no, nature. That's actually the answer is nature. Didn't know that it would affect me the way that it has.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I know I had never been in the mountains until I was in my late 30s. And I was just like, I just pulled over and was like, oh my gosh, God created all of this. I was just like, it blew my mind in a moment. I don't even know how to explain it.
No,
yeah.
We just went through Alabama Hills in California. Oh my God, if anybody hasn't been there, Badge, it's where they filmed a whole bunch of movies, but your mind can't almost not take it in. It is the most amazing landscape, but really crowded. If I had to do it again, I would have come. We would have come. I have to say we. When it was cold, when nobody wanted to be here yet. But then ever since then, we watched watched Django Unchained because it was filmed there, and then we watched Tremors because it was filmed there, and. Yeah, so it's just
beautiful place.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, too much to see. There's just too much to see.
Awesome.
It's a cool place, though.
We only have like 14 minutes left because then I have to raid the next channel. But has the pandemic even made a difference for you guys?
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
I was out in Arizona when it hit, and then I went home to be closer to him because if I have to hunker down, I wanted to be close to him and close to my family. Yeah. So I get home, and then I got sick, and I'd only had contact with one person, and we don't know if it was COVID, but it looked like COVID. And so then I was by myself in a foot of snow up in the mountains, boondocking on somebody's property that I knew, and couldn't get down. I was told to go to the hospital, didn't go, but I ended up obviously being fine. But that was scary. Yeah. And so that way it affected us. Yeah. In that way. And then we stayed in a long-term visitor area in the winter longer than probably we normally would have. In the beginning, for me and for some other people, it got a little tricky because you would go to get propane or something and the place would be closed. It just took a little bit more planning, but I think it affected us a lot less than it affected other people. He was still working. Yeah. Was still working. Yeah. So he started working from home. Actually, that was great. He was still working when he moved into the RV because he's working remotely.
So the only thing that was kind of weird is like there'd be like a rainstorm coming in. I'm in a Zoom meeting and I'm like, I'm going to have to go on mute because I can't hear anybody because the rain's in the roof.
Yeah.
So there was adjustments to working remotely.
It's like you're in the wind. You're going like this.
I've got 30 people on the video, and I'm like,
where
I
are
can't
you?
hear you. I'll be back in a minute. But it was a great way to get an experience on the road, and I'd say COVID for my situation probably it wasn't necessarily the worst thing because it allowed me an opportunity to make a change.
Yeah.
Kind of transition into this, right?
Yeah.
My company was going through a transition, and the COVID hit, and they wanted to crunch the numbers, and it just kind of worked out to make a move, and so it kind of worked out in my case. But it's obviously still a devastating situation. But that part of it was probably the silver lining, I guess.
Yeah. The only other thing is that we're in our early 50s, and we are just now eligible for the vaccine, but we can't get it because you can only get it in the places we're looking in our resident state, and we're not in our resident state. So we're going to have to let it open up a little bit more.
They keep calling us to get our shots, but we can't get there. So
that's it.
So I'm just going to ask you guys one last question. Sure. Call Me V. She asks, where do Robin and Doug foresee themselves in the next 5 years?
You're looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
Robin will be working, and Doug will be a camp host. Oh, sorry.
You're right. No, we have a map, a travel map we got back here in the hallway, and we just stare at it. We go, oh my God, there's so many places we want to go. Mm-hmm. Of course, I have goals for my books and stuff, but really it's just traveling because you never know how much time you have.
Right.
You do not know.
Yeah.
And we don't know what our window is here. We don't know how long we'll be healthy, or our families will be healthy, or, anything could change, and we just want to grab it while we can. But like I said, I'd like to be doing this until we can't.
Until we can't, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ash, did you have any last words you wanted to say on the live stream? Not last words,
no,
but
I'm just so excited that these guys came up because it's amazing. They just came up. They're good friends of mine, and I just love them.
We love you, Badge.
And
Paul, do it.
I just
do it.
Hate it. We will camp with you.
Right.
I just hate it that I didn't go down this year because Doug was on his own, and I said that'll be a lot of fun down there helping Doug out get along, and I wasn't there. That really burned me, I tell you. But
we wish you were there.
We'll be down there this winter. I'll tell you one way or the other.
Bring this one with you
next year for sure.
You bring this one with you next year.
You know what? I'm going to do some work and see what I can be doing come next spring. I'm going to give myself a year to deal with the house, a year to save. She's
that close.
And then
she's that close, Robin.
Well, actually, if I sold the house, I could take a year off. But we have changes in management and health, and it's just a whole big, and then the pandemic, and it just, I don't know if I would get approved at this point.
Let me tell you one thing. I mean, everybody's different, but for me, I created an income stream before I hit the road, but I had a year of savings to live on the road, just like what you're saying. So I could ramp up. I gave myself a year on the road to make a full living. That's what I did to a point, which made me feel a lot safer doing it. But in fact, I was going to go do an Amazon warehouse. Like literally Amazon warehouse was my backup plan. I was going to go bust my ass to do this if I needed to. Yeah. So there's a way. You can always go back. Having a hole in your resume for a year is not damaging.
Okay.
Like people think it once was, as long as you have a reason.
Yeah.
You say I took a sabbatical to go do something. I think employers actually like that now.
Yeah. It's a story you can tell.
Right. It separates you from the competition if you ever have to go back. So just I'm trying to sell her on a badge. Am I bad?
Oh, you're doing good. You are doing amazing. You know what, you guys, I am just so honored that you came on this stream. oh my gosh, you have no idea how much this means to me.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us,
It was fun for us.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm just so excited that Doug was able to fit in, or not fit in, but work with and get into the program, because you don't know, because people don't, they don't camp or nothing. So you don't really know, but it's just good that he's out there with Robin, and it's just, they're so cool people. It's just crazy, and that's like I was trying to tell everybody, is that these are the people you're meeting on the road, these guys. And it's amazing, just amazing. Like you sit down by the fire with them, and it's just amazing.
Everybody,
how
that's
much
another
you really
thing.
have in common when you don't think you have any.
The people you meet who are out on the weekends, like traveling in an RV park for the weekend with their kids or their ATVs, are a little bit different than the people that do this full time.
Yeah.
The nicest people
Very nice.
do this full time or part of the year.
Everybody waves, everybody.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah.
The most interesting, wonderful people. Yeah.
Wow. Is there any last advice, Robin, that you would give to all of us?
You never know what you can do until you do it. I thought that I only could do certain things until I was forced to do other things. My mind just opened up, and now I know I can do anything. I didn't know that. So for anybody out there that thinks they can't do something, they can.
Yeah.
And live now. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take my own advice.
There is something to facing your own mortality when a sibling close to you passes. But then the pandemic has really made me go, okay, I can't keep playing around anymore. Right? It's time to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Time is finite.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, moderators, for dropping that link for Gina's channel. I have pinned that to the top. So when we hit the top of the hour, you guys can just click that link and it'll take you directly to Van Life with Gina's channel. And Blind Views wants to know, can a blind guy do it?
Yes, a blind guy can do it. You just can't see it yet, Blind Views. You just can't see it, but you can do it. If you bump into enough trees, you'll say, oh, that's a tree. Oh, that's a tree. Oh, that's a fire. Okay, I'll back up now.
I'm going to play a quick thank you for those that super chatted me during the live stream as well.
All right. Thanks, Paula.
Thanks, you guys.
When you said go get Kleenex because you're going to cry, I was like, hardy har har, you're hilarious. Wow. Okay, guys, I am going to end this stream so that I can thank Badge from the very bottom of my heart for setting that up. And thank you so much to Doug and Robin for doing that, and for all of you being here. And Tracy, thank you for that super chat as well. That was greatly appreciated. This one.